This is the trifecta the Liberals can't afford to lose. Swan, Pearce and Hasluck. The margins vary from 3.2 in Swan to 5.2 for Pearce and 5.9 for Hasluck.
I think it'd be really tight. There could even be a hung parliament, or perhaps one mob will just get to the 75 or 76 seats they need.
In Swan, Steve Irons is getting out after 15 years, and the Liberals are offering Christy McSweeney as his replacement.
I firmly believe in the values of the Liberal Party. I've grown up in the party. I know all the parks, all the streets, all the issues and all the neighbourhood.
McSweeney's happy to appear on Sky News, but turned us down.
Refused.
Her Labor opponent was more forthcoming.
I'm surprised that when I'm speaking to people that have traditionally voted for the Liberal Party, they recognise that Scott Morrison is not leadership material.
In Pearce, the Libs have nominated Linda Aitken, also a non-appearance, to fill Christian Porter's shoes. Labor's Tracy Roberts, Mayor of Wanneroo, will be trying to upset her apple cart.
In Western Australia, the Liberals have been good at positioning themselves as the party that cares about Western Australia. This time round, it's probably a little bit harder when they haven't been as visible.
You can't see me.
Minister for Indigenous Australians Ken Wyatt should be safe in Hasluck, but Labor's Tanya Lawrence will be doing her best to unseat him.
I'm looking for strong female leaders, strong female representation. I believe it's more time we have more females in Parliament.
That may be, but a lot of the punters have no idea who the candidates are.
Haven't heard of her. Haven't seen pictures of them.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, I've heard the name too.
I don't even, without looking up what party she belongs to, I just don't know.
Has she got blonde hair?
Not really received anything from them.
Like letterbox drops
or seen any publicity about her and what her campaign's about. So it makes it hard to vote.
For many, the focus was firmly on the east, ScoMo and Albo in particular.
I think Morrison's actually done a fair job. It's been a terrible time to be running the country, but I think he's handled it fairly well.
I think we've got two very terrible candidates. The incumbent who won't listen to anyone and is unable to enact things reasonably. And we have the opposition, Mr Albanese, who doesn't seem to have an imagination.
I find it very difficult to watch Scott Morrison. It irritates me with the whole women's issues and the subservience of his female family. And Albanese, I haven't really formed a good opinion as yet.
Political observers like Professor Martin Drum have no doubt that Western Australia will play a pivotal role in a closely fought race.
Normally, when Western Australia is 2 or 3 hours behind, we often know the result before we've even finished counting. But this time round, it's going to be different, and we will feature in the outcome.
How many times have we heard the term two terrible candidates in elections around the world? Not once have I heard. They're two bloody good candidates. I can't choose between them.
No, it's a very good point. Julie, I've got to pick your political brain here. The fact that Liberal candidates, including in key seats like this, aren't prepared to talk to just everybody. I mean, why would they say no to doing any kind of media coverage at this point? What's going on there?
Well, I wouldn't take it personally, guys. I mean, you're all from the East Coast, and I think it's a COVID thing, you know.
We would have worn masks.
Well, that would have been nice. Look, clearly the campaigns will ramp up once it's called, and we don't know when in May it will be called, but I think we'll see a lot more of the candidates out and about the closer we get to an election. There is a level of COVID fatigue about politics as well. That is, people have been home for a long time watching TV and watching their political leaders day after day after day doing press conferences. Sure, it was all about public health imperatives, but I guess there's a kind of fatigue, a tiredness about seeing politicians in your face all the time.
What about Mark McGowan's popularity? How that impact will federally Labor use that? Like, how do you think that will play out?
Well, they'd be crazy if they didn't. He's incredibly popular here, although some of the shine has come off now that we have COVID in the state. But I think voters have shown year after year, election after election, that they can tell the difference between state and federal issues. So I'm expecting the federal election to be run very much on federal issues, and people know that if they vote Liberal, they're voting for Scott Morrison as Prime Minister. If they vote Labor, they'll be voting for Anthony Albanese as Prime Minister. So they're smart enough to get that.
Well, the Libs need them to get that because there are literally only 2 Liberals in the Western Australian Parliament. So this is an extraordinary situation.
In the lower house,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It does make it very difficult because often when there are a number of state members, inside federal seats. You can rely on your state colleagues to boost your appearances and the support for the party. But here in Western Australia, we have 2 lower house Liberals, and that's going to make it really challenging. We being the Liberal Party, I can't get out of that, can I? The Liberal Party currently holds 10 of the 15 seats here. It has held more in the past, up to 12, but there are a number of close seats, as we were noticing earlier in Swan and Hasluck and the seat of Pearce.
Do you miss it?
Miss what?
Do you want me to start the list? The backstabbing, no. The question time, no. The travel.
The infighting, the backstabbing, yeah, that's the bit I do miss. That was the most endearing part of politics.